When you suddenly find yourself alone in your older years, what should you do first? It's one of life's hardest transitions. Living alone after decades of companionship. Whether it's the passing of a spouse, children moving far away, or simply the quiet drift of time, loneliness after 60 or 70 isn't just common, it's deeply human. But here's something most people won't tell you. Being alone doesn't have to mean being lost. In this video, we're going to walk through 6 meaningful, wise steps to take if you find yourself growing older and facing life alone. These aren't vague suggestions or empty comfort. They're practical, grounding actions that many older adults have taken to not just survive solitude, but find a new kind of peace and purpose in it. Stay with us until the very end, because the 6th step is something very few people talk about. Yet it might just be the turning point in your mindset. It's the one shift that could help you move from isolation to quiet inner strength. Let's begin. Number 1, physical anchoring routine. One of the first things wise older people do when they find themselves living alone is establish a small, consistent physical routine that grounds their day. Not for fitness, not for show, but to feel anchored. When you're alone, time can blur. Days lose their structure, and it's easy to drift without even realizing it. A simple, repeated movement, like stretching in the morning, watering plants at the same hour, or walking the same quiet path creates rhythm, and rhythm creates a sense of control. There's a psychological term called somatic grounding, and it basically means using the body to steady the mind. When you touch the same wooden chair, feel the floor under your feet, or raise your arms with a slow breath each morning, you're telling your nervous system you're here, you're safe, you're still moving. That small physical act becomes a way to reestablish a sense of certainty. In a world that may feel like it's lost its shape, take someone like Walter, 81, who lost his wife after 52 years. He started each morning with a slow walk to the mailbox, even on days when there was no mail. It wasn't about the walk, he said. It was about proving to myself that I was still in the world. That one act helped him rebuild his days brick by brick. And that's what a physical routine can be. A gentle but steady brick under your feet, reminding you that even though the house may feel emptier now, the foundation is still strong. Shall I continue with step 2, community through small purpose next? Number 2, community through small purpose. When you're older and living alone, it's easy to believe that the world no longer needs you in the way it once did. But wise older people know that the fastest way to feel alive again is to become useful in even the smallest way. Not with grand gestures, not with heavy lifting, just with quiet contribution. This doesn't mean starting a foundation or volunteering 5 days a week. It can be as simple as keeping an extra bird feeder for the neighbor's porch, baking a pie for someone who's recovering from surgery, or checking in with a younger person who's going through a rough patch. These tiny offerings reconnect you. They remind you that your existence still matters in the daily rhythm of someone else's life. There's something deeply healing about being needed. It affirms that you're not just passing time, you're still shaping it for others. Psychologists call this generative purpose, and it's been linked to lower rates of depression, better sleep, and even longer lifespans in older adults. Not because of what you do, but because of what it symbolizes, that you're still part of the circle. Take Ruth, 77, who lives alone in a quiet neighborhood. She doesn't drive anymore, but every Thursday, she calls 3 people on her street, not to offer advice, just to listen. They call it their Thursday check-in, and it's become something they all look forward to. It gives her a role. It gives them reassurance, and it makes her feel deeply connected in a world that often moves too fast. To notice the quiet ones. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3, structure that anchors you. One of the most common traps of living alone in older age is slipping into a life without rhythm. Days can start to blur together, and before you realize it, you're living without any real structure. Not out of choice, but out of drift. But wise older folks know that even a light routine can be a lifeline. Structure doesn't have to mean military discipline. It can be as simple as walking to the mailbox at the same time each morning, having your coffee on the porch while listening to the same radio station, or setting a weekly time to call someone you care about. These routines act like anchors. They give your day a shape, a rhythm, and a reason to keep moving. When you're surrounded by others, the structure of your day often forms around them. But when you're on your own, that rhythm has to come from within. Without it, even small decisions like when to eat or what to do next can begin to feel heavier than they should. And that weight, over time, can turn into mental and emotional fatigue. That's why wise seniors choose to make small parts of their day predictable, because predictability brings stability. And in a world that feels increasingly chaotic, stability brings peace. It doesn't mean your day is boring. It means your mind doesn't have to keep scrambling for direction. That energy can be saved for the moments that really matter. Take Bill, 81, who starts his morning with toast, peanut butter, and one chapter of a Western novel. He follows it with 10 minutes of stretching, not because he has to, but because he wants to feel ready for whatever the day might bring. His routine isn't fancy, but it gives him momentum. And momentum, when you're living alone, is everything. Number 4, a place to be seen. There's a quiet ache that can grow when you live alone, not just from being without company, but from feeling unseen. That sense that your presence no longer matters to the world in the way it once did. But the truth is, it can still matter. It just needs a place to land. Wise older people know this. They create or find spaces where they can be seen and heard, not necessarily in loud or public ways, but in consistent, meaningful ones. This could be a weekly trip to the community center, a seat at a familiar cafe, or a hobby group where others notice if you don't show up. It's not about attention. It's about acknowledgement. When you live alone, it's dangerously easy to become invisible. Days can pass without anyone saying your name, and that silence can chip away at your sense of self. But when someone greets you by name, when someone says, "Good to see you again," it affirms that you still exist in the fabric of other people's lives. These micro moments of recognition aren't trivial, they're lifelines. They restore a sense of identity and belonging, even if it's the cashier who remembers your favorite snack, or the librarian who notices when you've returned. These are small but powerful signs that you are still part of a world that sees you. Margaret, 79, shared that every Tuesday, she sits on the same bench near the rose garden in town. Over time, joggers started waving. A boy on a bike stopped once to ask her name. Now she waves to 5 or 6 people each week. None of them are close friends, but that doesn't matter. She's not invisible. She's part of the landscape. And that makes all the difference. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5, a rhythm that carries you. When you're living alone, especially as you age, the hours can start to blend together. Mornings stretch into afternoons without distinction, and days pass with little to anchor them. But those who age wisely know this truth. Rhythm is what keeps the mind and spirit afloat. Not just routine, but a rhythm. Something that brings structure, yes, but also flow and movement. Something that carries you forward, even on the days when you don't feel like moving at all. A rhythm could be as simple as waking at the same time each day, watering your plants in the morning, taking a midday walk, or writing in a journal before bed. The details don't matter nearly as much as the consistency. It's in the returning, the repetition, the steady heartbeat of a day that has shape and intention. Psychologically, rhythm brings a sense of stability and predictability that's deeply comforting, especially when so much else in life feels uncertain. It reduces stress, supports sleep, and gives you a feeling of control. And perhaps most importantly, it gives the day purpose. When your day has a rhythm, you're no longer simply waiting for something to happen, you're participating in your life again. Walter, 82, keeps a handwritten calendar on his kitchen wall. Monday is soup day. Tuesday is crossword day. Wednesday, he trims his roses. Thursday, he calls his daughter. Friday is movie night with himself. Saturday, he rereads old letters. Sunday, he rests. It may look like nothing to anyone else, he says, but to me, it's everything. It's how I know I'm still living, not just existing. You don't need to fill every hour, but having 1 or 2 daily anchors, things you can rely on, can lift you out of that drifting feeling that sometimes comes with solitude. You begin to look forward to small pleasures, and those small pleasures slowly begin to build momentum. When you're alone, rhythm becomes a quiet companion. It holds your hand through the silence. It gives your time shape, and it gently says, "Let's go again." Number 6, a reason to step outside. One of the most powerful things you can do when you're old and alone is this: find just one reason, any reason at all, to step outside every single day. Because the longer you stay indoors, the smaller your world becomes. And the smaller your world becomes, the easier it is to lose your sense of curiosity, joy, and connection. Wise older folks know this, and they don't wait for a sunny day or a big event to give them an excuse. They go out to buy one apple. They sit on the porch for 10 minutes. They walk to the corner just to say hello to the wind. It may seem simple, but these little acts carry weight. Being outside shifts your energy. It reminds your body how to move, your lungs how to breathe fully, and your spirit that there's still a world worth showing up for. Psychologists have long understood the mental health benefits of nature exposure and fresh air. Even brief contact with natural light and open space can reduce symptoms of depression, regulate sleep, and improve mood. But it's not just about science, it's about soul. About being part of something beyond the four walls of your living room. Take Carol, 77. She lost her husband 5 years ago and lives alone now. Every morning, rain or shine, she walks to the little coffee stand 3 blocks down. She orders the same thing, a small decaf, extra cream. She says it's not really about the coffee. It's about the walk. The neighbor who waves from their window. The act of moving towards something, no matter how small, that reminds her she's still part of the world. When you're older, your body might not crave adventure the way it used to, but your soul still does. And stepping outside, even for 5 minutes, is a way to say to yourself, I'm still here. And the world is still here for me. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Final thoughts. If you're older and living alone, the quiet can sometimes feel heavier than the years themselves. But here's the truth. Being alone does not have to mean being lost. You are still the author of your days, still the keeper of your rhythm, your breath, your kindness, your hope. What stood out to you the most from today's list? Was it the idea of preparing your space with care? Was it reaching out to someone else before the silence swallows your morning? Or maybe it was the reminder to step outside, even if just for a few moments, to feel the air on your skin and know you're part of this world. There's no perfect way to navigate aging alone, but there are deeply human ways. Ways that bring meaning, warmth, and light into the quiet. Ways that turn solitude into strength and turn habits into hope. You're not just surviving these years, you're shaping them. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.